And glad each of you had the opportunity to join us this morning. I'm going to share with you some of the bios for our panelists. While I'm doing that, hopefully they'll have the opportunity to unmute, make sure their screen is on, and so they will be ready to roll with our questions. First off, I would like to share some information on Perry Perkins. Perry's an HR business partner for Collins Aerospace, and she's a professional HR practitioner. She champions an engaged and inclusive workforce, direct leadership to enable every employee for career development, and she supports business results and growth through workforce planning. Perry has worked in various HR roles with Collins for 4 years, and she holds a master's degree in human resources from the Darla Moore School of Business, USC. Perry's greatest passion in her work is highlighting each individual's value and how they can connect that to business success. In her personal time, Perry enjoys spending time with family, friends, and her puppy. So Perry, welcome to you this morning. Next with us this morning, we have Lora Dettor. Lora is an HR manager for Saft America, and she's a certified HR practitioner. As an HR manager, she champions an engaged workforce and provides advice and counsel to both employees and the leadership in the areas of learning and development, strategic initiatives, workforce planning, retention, and recruiting. Lora has worked in various HR roles during her 25-year career, focusing on manufacturing and distribution environments. Lora is very passionate about engagement and feels that an engaged workforce is one that understands how their individual efforts contribute to the success of a company. And like some other people on this call, Lora is a graduate of the University of Florida and will always be available to watch a Gator game. And finally with us this morning is Abe Alangadan. Abe is the Senior Project Portfolio Manager for Johnson & Johnson Vision. He is a global innovative leader with supply chain experience, most recently in global programs, strategic projects, and project portfolio management. Abe is passionate about serving the community, and he's chosen to serve on supply chain organizational boards to enable successful outcomes in workforce development and technology. Abe serves on the boards of the First Coast Manufacturers Association and Florida Makes. He is a mentor and supporter of the Johnson & Johnson Bridge to Employment program, the Johnson & Johnson Vision Care Inc. Academy of Advanced Manufacturing and Engineering, and Women in STEM program, strengthening access to education for high school students of Northeast Florida in partnership with local public schools and colleges. And Abe holds a bachelor's degree in industrial engineering and a master's degree in environmental science. So welcome to each of you this morning. Again, please make sure that you are unmuted so that we can kick off our questions. All right. So our first question this morning involves sharing a little bit about your organization and the role that you play in your organization. Maybe something we wouldn't know from the bio that we just shared. And to kick us off, Perry is going to start responding.
Good morning, and thanks for having me, everybody. So Doug obviously covered a lot about Collins Aerospace and what we do, so I got off easy there that he gave a summary of our business here in Jacksonville. And I think, so the second piece of something we do, was that the question, Julie?
Yes.
Okay, and our business or as an HR?
As an HR professional.
Okay, sorry. I'm like, you know, I'm reading the question on the script, and so we're off script. So I would say something that was not in the bio in our words about HR is just the constant counseling that you do in coaching to leaders. You know, we said that on there, but I don't think we account for how much of our day is just listening and helping teams work effectively. You know, you're often just an outlet for people to express their concerns, and your response can determine how effective and productive a team is and overall the impact that has on the business.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That's so true, and a very important role that you serve in your organization. Lora, let's hear from you.
Well, good morning and go Gators. Saft specializes in advanced technology battery systems. So we do everything from the design and development to production and customization. And we provide backup functionality in the harshest of environments, from the Sahara Desert to the Arctic Circle, and even we provide the backup for things that are used in space exploration. So it's a very, very neat industry. In my role, I have the opportunity to help create a work environment that encourages, that out of the box thinking, creativity, innovative solutions, and again, provide the advice and counsel that is necessary to both leadership and the employees. But the very, very, very best part of my job is that I am here to serve and support operations and serve and support our employees. So HR is a service department. So if we're not serving, we're not doing our job. So that's, to me, the very best part of what I get to do every single day.
All right, well, that's fantastic. Thank you, Laura. And Abe, let's hear your response to this question.
Good morning, Julie. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Good morning to everyone, all the panelists. I'm glad to be here. So I am fortunate enough to work for a regional headquarters of Johnson & Johnson Vision. So this is where, we have the concept design, we have the research and development of contact lenses, disposable contact lenses. So going back to the 1980s, we bought a small company which made hard contact lenses, which was made on a lathe, if you will, right? The technology was advanced, and we are the first to make disposable contact lens, fully automated manufacturing line. So when I say regional quarters, we have headquarters, we have 2,000 plus employees, all the way from research and development to customer service, distribution, and manufacturing. So in my role, I play different roles, Julie, that I started out as a ergonomics engineer, if you will, right? We had 40 people per manufacturing line initially when we had more of a manual manufacturing line. That's more to 2 to 3 employees per fully automated manufacturing line, right? So I worked on night shift, that is night shift supervisor, and worked my way up in operation support, ops manager, business unit manager, and lately more of a strategic role in how do we take the products and in supply chain distributed around the world, and how do we really allocate capital and expenses globally so that we are viable in a global market.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. And the three of you have already highlighted the many different types of roles and opportunities in different ways that you can engage in this advanced manufacturing industry. So you've gotten us off to a great start already. So our second question, we do have a lot of individuals on the line on our call today that are really curious to know about some of the job titles that you hire for most, and what does that hiring process actually look like? So Laura is going to share how things are done at Saft.
Well, at Saft right now, currently, we are looking for program managers. We have a lot of new businesses coming in, and we need program managers that will be able to work with other parts of the organization cross-functionally to make sure that we have everything set correctly for the customer to meet their expectations. We hire for a lot of technicians, production operators, you name it, we have it. Finance, logistics, purchasing, all of those opportunities exist. And with Saft, the hiring process is that you apply to the position. We then do a phone screen. We bring you in for an interview, take you on a tour of the facility. And you would interview with not only HR, but also Lora would be your potential manager. And we try to set up something with someone that would work in the department with you. Once you're hired and you start, we have an onboarding process that's fantastic and gets people really happy to be here. And that's the most important part. You got to be excited to go to work every day. So if you're not going to win the lottery and we have to go to work every day, my goal is to make sure that you wake up in the morning and go, I want to work for Saft.
Well, that's fantastic. Thanks so much. And you've already started to touch on that word cloud that Anna showed in her portion, where there are so many different types of opportunities that are present and available and that you're all looking to hire for right now. So thank you, Laura. Abe, what are some of the job titles that you're looking for at J&J Vision?
Yeah, certainly. So we have a role called engineering technician. So our manufacturing lines require just not to, it's fully automated, just not to run the line. We are responsible for that whole manufacturing line. So if the line goes down, you have to do repair and maintenance. So you pretty much own a manufacturing line. So it's just not operating, right? So the major roles that we have is engineering technician. But you could start out as an operator. We have some of the jobs that start out as an operator, and you can really get to engineering technician level 1 through level 4. So we have different levels, and all of these jobs doesn't require a college degree, a high school diploma, and with some experience in industrial maintenance. And also, if you're a good mechanic, that's a good good experience for you to get a job, right? We hire through job fairs. We go to high schools, colleges, technical colleges. We do have on-site job fairs now. We work with Career Source and others in career fairs. So we recruit through all different ways. Yep.
Excellent, thank you. And we actually have highlighted this month for Manufacturing Month a success story of Alex James, who works for Johnson & Johnson Vision. So we'll include a link to that in our summary for everybody on the call today. And Perry, some of the job titles that you're hiring for most.
Really similar to Abe and Laura, which is very interesting to hear. So production technician is our largest volume of that we're hiring for. And for us, it's not an automated role actually at all. It really is truly hands-on from start to finish. We assemble the product in our facility, and it's very hands-on work. So that is our highest volume. And I know we'll get into this, but as it said, that one is high school degree is the requirement there. And you can progress. We have levels 1 through 5 within that. So you can progress in that in your production skills. And then we also have a lot of everything else really is designed around supporting that team. So we have quality technicians, quality assurance, right? Quality engineers. And we have the engineering team that supports the process and the design. So in my mind, all of our other roles are in support of our manufacturing line, right? So those are a few of our most common, but we also, because we have a full value stream of business here in Jacksonville, we also hire for finance, supply chain, and we've had an open role in each one of these departments because of our growth. Since I've been here, we usually have at least one open in one of those departments. So.
Okay, that's some great information that you've shared with us, Perry. And I think people are hearing from all of you. There are multiple ways to engage in these pathways and different levels of education, certainly that you look for when you're making these hires. So moving on to our next question, what are some of the roles available within your respective companies that will hire a high school graduate, that will hire an adult with less than a bachelor's degree? And maybe you could share what some of those credentials would be: welding, CNC machining, what would those things look like? So to kick us off with that question will be Abe.
Yeah, so as I said before, we have the engineering technician role, operator role. Even within research and development, we have roles where we have a pilot line where we could use process development technicians. All of these jobs only require a high school diploma. We have customer service representatives, and those roles are filled. You don't need a college degree to apply for that. You work with our customers, get their needs, and take customer orders. That's a position we have. And also we have a logistics and distribution center, where we have to fulfill the orders. So we get the customer orders, and you have to pick, pack, and ship the products that we make in manufacturing. That's a role, and we have different maintenance technician jobs that's available as well. That doesn't require a college degree. But each of these jobs, if you have experience or if you have taken courses, let's say within a manufacturing academy in a high school, or let's say Florida State College or other St. John's River College technical colleges, they offer some courses. And if you have taken those courses, that's really helpful for you to land the job.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Abe. Perry, some of the roles within your organization, high school or adult with less than a bachelor's degree.
Sure. So our main entry level position coming with a high school diploma would be our production technician role. Something that, and we truly are hiring individuals, a year out of high school for that one, since it's our most entry level. But what would make them more competitive is, proven like mechanical aptitude with hand tools, any hands-on experience like that would really set you apart. You really don't need to have any sort of formal certification there. So any, again, hands-on experience, if it was something in the CTE program in Duval County Public Schools or something through FSCJ, that would just make you even more competitive there. And then a lot of the roles that I mentioned, so other support roles for the manufacturing site, so quality technician, warehouse associate, even engineering technician, those also do not require a high school diploma, but a bachelor's degree. But an associate's degree really does make you more competitive for it and more likely to receive that. So an associate's degree in something related to that, or just years of experience in those fields from previous organizations.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, Perry. And Laura, let's hear from you.
Some of the roles that we have and again, not all in maybe the plant, but maybe in the office area, is purchasing, logistics. But we have assembly positions. We have quality, maintenance, engineering techs, all of those things that don't necessarily require that bachelor's degree. It's just, do you have that aptitude? Like Perry was saying, what is it that drives you? What are you great at? What are you wired to do? It's great to have some lean manufacturing experience or be familiar with that, but it's not required. And we do offer a great tuition reimbursement and tuition assistance program here. So we really encourage education. So, maybe you start in assembly, but you want to eventually be in development or, engineering, whatever. And so you go for that engineering degree and the company will help you pay for it. That's a great way to start.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned, company assistance and helping you kind of pursue that career pathway, pursue additional credentials or degrees. And also one of the comments that came out was, referencing you set yourself apart if you know how to use those hand tools. This is something that our CTE courses are really tremendous at doing, is making sure students have those opportunities to master some of those skills, to learn, measurement, some of those basic things that today do set you apart and make you more competitive. So we're so grateful that we have some amazing CTE programs in this region, and it really does position our talent to be more competitive. So thank you for bringing that up. Okay, next question for you this morning. What kind of education path do you look for in prospective hires? Or in other words, what are some valuable skills or credentials that you really like to see? Sort of touched on it a little bit, Let's make sure that we've got that loud and clear out there for our audience and for any students who are going to be listening to this as well. So Perry, education path.
So when it comes to credentials, like you said, Laura brought up a great point of any sort of lean experience, so continuous improvement. Anything in that is something highly desirable that we're looking for. We're looking with people for that mindset and passion for that. And then I think it depends on the role, depending on the certification, right? So for quality, it would be, you know, certain quality system credentials, right? It's different for each role there. But basically the credentials that are top in the manufacturing industry. And so I can't list them all because it's different for each position, truly. And then education path, again, just seeing that you've progressed in general, I think is valuable to us. So it doesn't have to be completed, but if you've worked on, you've got your high school diploma and then you got your associates and it says you're enrolled in bachelor's, like that would certainly make me, again, interested, even if you haven't completed that you've, it doesn't matter how long, you know what I mean? If especially if you're working, but just showing that you're driving towards that and that we can then support you once you work with us, because we have tuition reimbursement as well to help you achieve those goals.
Wonderful. Love that tuition reimbursement and the idea of showing that interest, aptitude, progression, showing that you do really want to be engaged in the industry. It sounds like it's important to each one of you. And so we want to make sure that that we emphasize that on today's call as well. So thank you, Perry. Laura, what's your response?
I agree with Perry. Really, again, like I said before, that lean manufacturing, lean office, that's the lean way, is the way that we're looking for. And even if you don't actually attend formal classes, if it's something that you're just interested in as a person, you go on and you do a lot of research and you know a lot about it, express that when you come in for an interview. Let us know, I know things about lean manufacturing. I understand the concept. I understand what it means. I know what a Gemba board is. I know, those things. So even if it's self-taught or self-research, it just shows that you want to take initiative and you want to learn more about it. And initiative, I think sometimes gets less credit than maybe what it deserves.
That's a fair point. That's one of those employability skills or soft skills that is imperative for one's success. So thank you for bringing that up. Abe.
Yeah, I want to cover a couple of things, right? So we are a FDA regulated environment. So from that perspective, you have to be really good in documentation, have the discipline to follow the quality and safety and the quality regulations, right? That's something like people with military background and early retirement from Navy, they have that skill set, so it's certainly we have that requirement, right? The other piece that I think Laura and Perry touched on are some of the soft skills, right? Teamwork, leadership. Like I said before, Julie, that you own the line, and how do you manage that line, and how do you work with others and other engineers and your partners to make sure that manufacturing line is working well, right? So I would say for us, if you're good in analytics, like analysis of data, you are a data detective, right? You have a inherent curiosity to look for faults on the machine and go after those issues. And some people really love it, right? I'm the type of person, I want to detect what the issue is and how can we improve yield, and really go after some issues on the line. So it's just not the technical ability that's a good start. but it's really other soft skills that can really take you places. And we have many individuals who started as a technician has become, even a vice president, senior director levels, right? Starting out as a technician. So I know that as my panelists mentioned here, we support tuition for degree or any, let's say, an MBA or other degrees they want to pursue. And we support them through UNF and other colleges here locally.
Excellent. Again, so excited to hear about those opportunities for individuals to upskill using one of our amazing post-secondary education providers here in the region. Wonderful synopsis of some of the employability skills that are definitely needed and will make an individual very successful in addition to those technical skills. So thank you all for your response. So moving on to our next question. What are some of the roles in advanced manufacturing that break the perception that this industry offers limited opportunities? We know manufacturing is clean, cutting edge, efficient. We know this stuff because we're exposed to it, but there's still a lot of misconceptions about the industry we need to address so we can attract students to this industry. So what are some of the roles that break the perception? And then how can we help students and parents get excited about these roles? And to kick us off with the response will be Lora.
I think that the big misperception or perception that is not correct about advanced manufacturing is that if you start in a role, that's it for you. You know, if you are in assembly, you're in assembly. And nothing could be further from the truth. You may start in assembly, but if you're just naturally inclined to find those little detail things and the small little defects, we're going to look and go, hey, this person would be great for quality. If you are interested in logistics, whatever your interest is, we want to put people in positions that they're wired to do, not just hired to do. So you may be hired in assembly, or maybe you're filling cells or whatever the case is. But when you take that initiative and you go, hey, I think I'm really interested in this part of the business or that part of the business, let us know. And also we'll recognize that. And we'll come to you and go, hey, listen, have you ever thought about perhaps going into quality or perhaps going into purchasing? There's so many avenues from there. And some of our best leaders are the people who started in assembly and just have learned all these areas of the business. The more you know, the better you are. So the more you know about how what you do fits into the bigger picture of the company, the better you're going to be at that position. So you may be in assembly today, but when you think about as you're in assembly and you're putting all these things together, or you're in formation or filling or whatever the area, just think about the fact that whatever you're doing today may one day be used in space exploration. I mean, how great is that? The potential is unbelievable, and you can just go anywhere in so many directions. So I think the biggest misconception is that once you start in this position, that's what you're going to be, and that's where you'll always be. And the reality is you may start here, but the possibilities are limitless.
The sky's the limit, and the batteries you produce could wind up on the moon, is
That's
what
right.
I hear you saying. Now, that's a pretty exciting thing. I think we can communicate that to parents and students. So thank you, Lora. Abe, let's hear from you.
I have to say, what's the purpose? I have two boys, and they graduated from our local high school system, and they are in the university system. And my oldest son is just employed recently here locally in Jacksonville, right? I see things through them, and if our new employees, right? What's the purpose in their job? So I would say I have the shirt. Not sure you can see it. I put awesome in AccuView. AccuView is our brand of contact lens. It's really about the purpose is, we are really making a difference in vision correction for a patient, right, or a customer. So every single contact lens we make goes on to a person's eye, and it makes a value and a purpose, right? And how do we drive that purpose, and how can we make the best quality lens that's available for that customer, right? That puts the purpose. Changing health, right? and many other innovations we have. We are taking care of allergies, or let's say different technologies, right? That can drive results, right? That drives purpose. And also, if you think about the future of manufacturing, we are really automating repetitive jobs that doesn't require a human being, right? So it's really manufacturing jobs in the future certainly looks like we have to monitor how the line goes and the product is made. And as a human being, you interact with computer and analytics and make a decision to better that product, right? And as I said, for the purpose and the betterment of that product for our customer. So I think that's the purpose, and I think it's a pretty cool job. And I think Laura and Perry mentioned, especially the youth coming in, they are so attuned to the computer skills or their laptop or their iPhones, right? We have similar technology. The human-machine interface that they have in the manufacturing line is very similar to a PC or an iPhone, or a gadget that they're used to, right? So it becomes much simpler, easier, and it's not smokestacks and grease, right? So in advanced manufacturing, it's going to be much more fun for the newcomers.
Excellent, thank you. And as somebody that wears contact lenses, I have to thank you, and that is a great purpose. And I think that's a great selling point too. You're using technologies that students just have been brought up with and they're familiar with. So it makes sense. And also, jobs are not going away because of robotics and automation. They're just changing. And the changes that coincide with it are typically going to be more exciting for the students, so they can exercise some of those skills that you all have mentioned this morning. So thank you for that. And Perry, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I think one of the perceptions I would want to break about limited opportunities is, like, I think we're showing how much we value everybody. I mean, including the entry-level employee, right? Like, people are absolutely our competitive advantage and a requirement to do what we do. So because we value each person and your skills so much, like, we cannot, without the production team, impossible, right? Can't do what we do. So, when you're valued, we open doors for you. Like, we have all these different mechanisms. Like, if a degree if you're not interested in school, like, that's something we keep mentioning, is that we all have tuition reimbursement programs. There are other things too. Like, we will pay for all sorts of certifications, right? Hands-on certifications. We have a process to sign you off on skills for on-the-job learning that helps you progress through the production floor. So, it's really kind of the opposite, that we are trying to provide you every opportunity possible, because we want you to stay and have a career with us. And I do think, and I'm kind of skipping ahead, but I do think, to me, the manufacturing industry is still unique, that it really provides a really good long-term opportunity, and that's what we want and we're looking for. So when a company values that, you're obviously going to naturally have opportunities, since we want to keep you engaged and stay with us.
Absolutely. You all are interested in great hires and also retaining talent and supporting your talent, which is very much appreciated. And thank you so much for the unique perspective that each of you shared in response to that question. Let's move on to another question. If a student is interested in an internship or a job shadowing experience, how would that student access that kind of opportunity? Students can engage in work-based learning opportunities earlier due to some legislative changes. So teachers and students are definitely interested in hearing about how they can engage. So to kick us off with this question, Abe, let's hear from you.
Yeah, so with COVID, I would admit that we did not have opportunity to bring students in and showcase who we are. And what we recognized a long time ago is that we are a larger manufacturer in the Jacksonville Northeast area, but not necessarily all the students know what we do and what jobs that we offer. And so that's a missed opportunity. And with, I think COVID, it really set us back. So we have a couple of programs, Julie, that we work with the youth and with local high schools. One is called Bridge to Employment. We follow a cohort of students from 10th grade all the way to their graduation. And we specifically pick certain schools that, you know, we have easier access for our volunteers and mentors to work with those students. And by doing that, we're exposing them to different jobs. You know, it's just not manufacturing. We want them to learn about healthcare jobs, nursing jobs. So we connect them with UNF, FSCJ, and other universities, and also bring them on board here on our campus and show what we do and what different careers that they have, right? And also we have youth leadership development program. That program also, we work with 3 different high schools and really exposing them to different careers. Like we all talked about, we have finance, we have customer service jobs and all of those, right? And how do we let the students know what's the pay scale that they can start with, right, compared to some other jobs that we have in the area, and the benefits that you get, and the long-term possibility for further education. And also, it's really about educating the parents and the teachers, right? So Julie, you mentioned what are some of those opportunities. I personally think that working with the school principal, teachers, and counselors, especially in the technical career schools or academies, it's really important for all of us to come together and have that opportunity to educate the parents. A lot of times that the students don't know in 9th grade what they want to do in their career, right? And how do we influence the parents and also give that information out about all these different possibilities, right? Did I miss anything, Julie? I know you asked me, there were a couple of questions in there.
Yeah, that's good. Telling them how they're going to access it. It's just communication, making sure that that communication is out there. And there's a couple of different ways that you're currently engaging.
Yeah, one more thing I want to say. We do work with DCPS, the Duval County Public Schools, and then we do attend their job fairs, and also they have academy school selections, and I think in January of every year. So it's a good opportunity for all of us as manufacturers to be there and say who we are, and the parents and students are coming there to see what possibilities and academies, right? So there's a different way of marketing our manufacturing jobs there. Thanks, Julie.
Of course, and you mentioned COVID. We do have a lot of our districts reinstituting some events that they had to kind of set aside during COVID. So we're seeing more activity and more plans within our school districts for those job fairs. So there's going to be continued opportunity for companies to engage and actually have a chance to meet that talent face to face. So definitely exciting work to come. And next up, Perry, let's hear from you.
I have to always check if you're still on mute. So for us, in full honesty, we're really starting to explore this space better for more roles. So for engineering, we've really figured it out. We, for years now, have had engineering interns during the summer while they're in school, and then we'll convert them and have them prepared so that when they graduate that they're coming back. And we've actually had 100% like success rate in converting our engineering interns, which has been really lovely and just, you know, exciting, something we're proud of. But we have not figured this out locally within Jacksonville. I'm sure other columns, we have, 300 locations around the globe. Other sites probably have, but we are just starting to tap into what we could do for high school students and we're connecting with Duval County Public Schools, which is great. So if anybody is interested on this call, hopefully my contact information will be shared and we can talk. We are just starting on that journey since we're about 220 employees in Jacksonville. We're a little bit smaller. But we do want to start because we do see it as a really needed opportunity to build talent and give students a little bit more experience, a little hands-on work, so that would make them even more employable when they do graduate.
Excellent. And the folks on this call did receive your bio page, which includes your LinkedIn profile, but we can also include emails if I get permission from each of you. And I'm sure you will hear from some excited folks who want to engage. All right, next up, Lora.
We love our interns. We love them. They're fantastic. And we've had interns from, quality interns, engineering interns, finance, and we've had them all. So we welcome interns. I would say, partially due to COVID and partially just haven't maybe thought about it, is like Perry said, with the high school students. We want them to come in and job shadow and learn about what we do, whether it's in HR or finance or purchasing or in the plant. So I would love to get more information about programs that are offered through Duval County Public Schools. So Lake Perry, please send me an email. We are open to it. We want to get that line of communication open because we certainly love our interns.
That's awesome. And, we at JAXUSA Partnership have the opportunity to serve our 7-county region. And so that reach and the students throughout this region would, I'm sure, love to have some amazing internship opportunities. So it sounds like we're getting some conversations started today, and there's going to be some positive results that come from this. So thank you all. And let's move on to our next question. So what really excites you about what you see happening in your industry? We've heard some references to technology and all sorts of fun things and developments, but what is really, really exciting to you? And what surprises people the most when they learn more about advanced manufacturing? And maybe you have an example of something that somebody has said or a sentiment they've shared that they've been surprised about when they learn more about all these opportunities. So to start with the response will be Perry.
Sure. So I think what excites me the most about our industry is, we have such a unique opportunity to do research and development work with the Navy. So we partner with them to design what they need for our national defense. And it is just so amazing. And then in order to get to the point of producing those parts for the customer, it takes absolutely everybody, every department that we have named, right? So the teamwork required to deliver it is very exciting. And then specifically to the manufacturing environment, one of our 5-year goals is to be, Industry 4.0 factory. And so I'm excited to see our technology within our factory and just our continuous improvement really advance and change. When I get on a global call and I see what our team members are doing in Singapore, I'm like, you could, eat off their manufacturing floor. It's the cleanest, most amazing place, right? And so I'm excited for us to learn from our peers on that and have that as a goal, because it's just going to continue to be a really nice work environment for the next generations to come and join us. So
Wonderful. Industry 4.0. Very exciting. All right, Lora, what is exciting to you?
I think the most exciting thing to me about the advanced manufacturing industry and just forward thinking is all of the great innovative solutions and things that the people that work for us will be designing and developing. We have several people in the Jacksonville plants alone that have patents on their name.
Oh, cool.
And because it's things that they have designed and developed and created these things from simply an idea or simply something sparks. It's kind of like, you know, like Walt Disney was talking about imagination versus creativity. And it's that you have to have a combination of both, but it's something that sparks the imagination that leads to the creativity. And I'm excited to see what these new people who are coming in, this new generation that's coming in, where are they going to take us? What's going to be the next thing? What's going to be that next patent that's written and their name is on it? I mean, how great is that? You know, Saft is so excited about this new generation because we're really excited about innovation and things like that. We're in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most powerful battery. That's really cool. So think about all of the things that can happen in the next 10, 15 years. That's pretty exciting.
That is definitely exciting. Thank you for sharing that. I did not know about the Guinness Book.
Yes.
So, see, you learn something new every day.
Alaska.
Very cool. Thank you, Laura. Abe, what excites you about what's happening in this industry?
I would say I'm really excited about, I think Laura talked about creativity and innovation, right? So think about this, right? We have drones delivering medicine to, rural neighborhoods, right? We have just an example, right? So let's say we have to do certain inventory count in our warehouse, right? Think about a student and who's using a drone to do the inventory, right? You're counting how many packages or pallets you have of products in a warehouse. It could be a boring job, but think about you're applying a drone to do the inventory count in your warehouse, right? And you are a delivery person, and let's say we have to deliver products to hard hit areas like in a hurricane or in a natural disaster. The technology and the opportunity for creativity for the young people, and with their knowledge and with their experience that they are growing up with the technology, it's going to take us to a whole different place, right? And from a advocacy and from a government perspective, COVID really taught us a good lesson. We have supply chain issues. Why do we have supply chain issues? So we have a lot of, inshoring, or let's say we have to find more products and more supplies locally. So that would mean that, we need to have suppliers in Florida. We need to have suppliers close to us in Northeast Florida and within the US, right? So all of those brings opportunities for better jobs and better technology and innovation and creativity that the students and the younger people can look out for, right? So I'm excited about that.
Wonderful. And what a great commercial for the students that are actually pursuing drone technology studies in schools. That's going to be a great way they can use those skills that they're developing in the classroom. So thank you all for sharing your thoughts on that question. And our last question this morning, what message do you hope resonates with teachers, parents, and students in community-based organizations that have touch points with those folks in our talent pipeline about the advanced manufacturing industry? What message do you hope resonates with them? And to kick us off with our final question of the day, Laura.
The message I hope that resonates with everyone is that advanced manufacturing is really looking to the future. We're looking for that next generation who's coming up and all of their creativity and imagination that comes with them. It also offers so many opportunities in different areas of business. So you may start one place, you may end up in another and another. There's no limit to what you can do. I mean, Saft has 16 manufacturing sites across the world. So you may start in Jacksonville, Florida, and then go, you know what? Maybe I want to go live in France for a while. You go live in France. So, and it's like that limitless opportunity. And I hope that that's what really resonates with them.
Awesome. Well, after they spend some time in France, we're going to hope they come back here to Jacksonville because we need their
That's
talent
right.
and skills. But what an
That's
amazing
right.
opportunity that an individual could have if they choose this career pathway. So thank you for your excitement and enthusiasm, Laura. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you
Abe,
having it.
yeah, absolutely. Abe, what do you hope resonates with
I-
those on the call and those that will listen to this on our YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I have to say, if you think about our industry, advanced manufacturing, we did not talk about sustainability. So, the purpose, social causes and sustainability, we have a unique opportunity as an industry to support that sustainability. And if you're interested in that, right, yeah, there are many industries within adjacent industries and manufacturing that supports that, right? And that if that's your purpose, for example, that's where you could work. And like Laura said, you could gain technology and initial job experience, then you can move from, one geographical location to a different geographical location. As technology and innovation improves, most of our jobs have similar qualifications or requirements, if you will. So once you gain experience, you can go anywhere, from a hierarchical perspective or geographically or adjacent jobs, right? I have done very different jobs, from ergonomics engineer to managing lathe machines to CNC machines to, strategic planning and project management. So it's a wide and wild world out there. So many opportunities, right? So go after it.
Wonderful. And thank you so much for bringing up sustainability and social causes. That could really attract an individual to this industry if it resonates with something that aligns with their values. And that's something that I know we talk to students about all the time. So just another facet of this industry that could compel a student to pursue this industry. So thank you so much, Abe. And to wrap us up this morning, let's hear from Perry.
Thank you. So I would like the message to be that manufacturing is a place of community where if you start your career in, you can really grow along with that community, right? An image that is in my mind. Yesterday I was looking out my window and there's a dad and his daughter both work for us in production, going home together, carpooling, and the mom actually works with us too. And so the fact that we are able to make it a place where a whole family would want to come and work, like that just warms my heart. Like that means we've done a good job, right? And then it can be engaging in different ways for all of them because they're in different parts of their career, right? And something we haven't really touched on too is how important it is to make everybody, regardless of your background, feel comfortable. So celebrating all of our different cultures is something we're doing at least once a month, right? And so it really is a true community environment that will support you for the longevity of your career. So I hope we've made that impression today about manufacturing.
That's wonderful. And I appreciate your perspective on that as well, that inclusivity, that this is a career that can span, through different phases of life in your career, and is even something that attracts, multiple people in the same family. What a fantastic message. I so appreciate each of you. You've each brought something so helpful and valuable to the table when, talking about this industry of advanced manufacturing here this morning. So certainly on behalf of all of us here at JAXUSA, we thank you for your time and sharing that expertise that will no doubt benefit other folks right here in Northeast Florida.